Hi, I'm your host, Grace, and welcome back to the Gentlewoman. It's so good to be here today, working on week 2 of the podcast. I am alone, I am on the floor, I am in my room. I wanted to put out 2 before having any guests on, but I think we're going to have a very special guest next week, so everyone just hold on for that. Get ready for that moment. It's going to be great. We're still recording on my computer, as I didn't feel like figuring out if my SD card had enough space halfway through recording and then having to restart again. I just deleted my old video, starting the new one. Here we are. But in today's episode of The Gentlewoman, I have my little journal, wrote down what we're going to talk about. Basically, my professor that I love very dearly, who teaches me in Com 107, it's a required class, but I'm so glad I'm taking it. He asked us, what do you believe in? And I'm very much a person who has very strong beliefs. And when he asked us this, I literally froze in my tracks. And I got so worried, and the whole thing, the whole feeling of anxiety just flew through my body. I was I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm sitting here usually the person with the most beliefs about everything, and I'm sitting there I accidentally get skipped over. And the only person in the class who accidentally gets skipped over. And I was like, Professor, what about me? And as I'm saying that, I'm still having this miniature sort of breakdown where I'm what do I believe in? So I said something along the lines of, can't take care of others until you take care of yourself, which I think I talked about last week in my podcast. So that was super cool to say. But some people said God, some people were science. But it was definitely interesting hearing what everyone believes in, and me kind of sitting there in sheer panic when I feel like I constantly talk about my beliefs, and live through my beliefs throughout my life. So I wondered, are beliefs morals or structure in your life? Do we have beliefs for moral purposes like morality and ethics, or do they simply give us structure? Because a huge thing that pops into people's heads when you're talking about beliefs is religion. And in my life, religion has always been very structured and based on the institution of a church and all that jazz, and going places on a certain schedule and doing things separate ways and the perfect way. There's always a perfect way to do something, and it's just structured sometimes. So that's what I want to talk about today. Also, in that same breath, I was listening to Billie Eilish's song TV, which she released not too long ago. And I remember when I first heard it, I was this is so sad. And when I revisited them to add them into my fall playlist, because I tend to add sad songs to my fall playlist, this lyric really stuck with me. So it's, now all my friends are missing again, because that's what happens when you fall in love. You don't have the time, you leave them all behind, and you tell yourself it's fine, you're just in love. Hold on, we gotta backtrack. Who let her write that lyric? So wild, so crazy. I just also want to talk about that, because beliefs in your relationships are so essential. If you do not believe in boundaries, if you do not believe in balance, if you do not believe in independence, you will struggle in a relationship. And so part of me was is that just for structure, or is that morally? Can you believe in these things, and can you not believe in these things morally? And I have had the sort of situation that Billie talks about in that song, and what she lists is obviously, maybe not obvious. I'm trying to take that word out of my vocabulary because it's very know-it-all-y. And I hate when people are obviously. No one ever says it like that, but it's just, I don't know. It's not obvious sometimes. What is listed above that lyric listed above. You guys aren't looking at my journal with me. So that's toxic love. Like love that makes you cut people out of your life and like reassess friendships and reassess relationships with family, guy friends, girlfriends, like whatever the relationship is. Small friendships that you have along the way, like if you're scared to have those, or if you're scared to make those blossom or to grow those further, like you're in a toxic relationship. And this is all saying like as long as those people that you're surrounding yourself with originally like are good. So they shouldn't disappear when you get into a relationship on their end, but also on your end. That's always something I really valued in my relationships, is keeping the people around me that I like love and trust no matter what. And when I found myself in a toxic relationship, all of a sudden people start dropping like flies, and you can't even realize in the moment and like reassess in the moment, like because I'm not hanging out with these people to please my partner, they're not going to be my friends anymore. And like they don't need to have a friendship with me anymore because I'm not being a good friend. So I think it's super important, I want to say like for structure and for a moral reason, that you have these beliefs in a relationship. And something that I've struggled with in the past, I would say, is independence. And I used to not struggle with this. So that is so disappointing that I feel like I've backtracked sometimes. But I try to give myself the benefit of the doubt. But I used to be so independent in my relationships and really only struggle in more platonic relationships that I felt like I was giving so much more to and the other person wasn't giving back. But when you end yourself up in a very toxic relationship, you're just all over the place. Like you do not know what's going on. You are losing friends. You're being a bad friend. You're saying no to things because you don't want to make your partner upset. Like you lose that independence when you are surrounding yourself with someone who is threatened by others. And that is where like balance comes into relationships, I really think. And that is something I also like morally really believe in, independence and balance. And unfortunately, when you get yourself in one of those little toxic relationships, those life lessons, those like ways to act sort of take a backseat. And the emotional and the passionate and the crazy comes flying out of left field because that's just what's easiest. And it's just because that's what you know when you find yourself stuck in those situations. So I would say for structure, but also for moral purposes, to continue to be your own person in a relationship and to continue to grow in your relationship, you have to keep it going with other people. Like, you can't give yourself the excuse, like Billie says in the song, and I don't think she's giving herself an excuse. I think she's really just pointing out a fact. Like, oh, well, that's just what happens when you get a boyfriend. Like, no, you don't have to lose all your friends. You and your boyfriend can be, or your partner, sorry, didn't mean to gender them. But you and your partner can be friends with people together. I think it's such a powerful thing to be like friends as a unit. Like you guys are the unit and you're like making friends with people. And not in like a third wheelie type of way, but in just like oh, like we have so much fun together. Like we want to share this with you. Like we want you involved in that fun. And again, that's always to say that making sure the people around you are good, because sometimes a partner can help you step back and help you reassess and be like, oh, like, who am I really surrounding myself with? Like, who are my real friends? Because some friends get jealous when you get into a relationship and they all of a sudden aren't asking you to hang out as much, aren't seeing you like as a person without a boyfriend. Partner. But you know, that's just how things happen. Or they'll be like, oh, she'd rather be with blah, blah, blah. When that's not true in reality. We all need our space and our friendships and our alone time with our partners, our alone time with our friends. It's all very important. And I think this becomes an issue because in a relationship, you're supposed to be like best friends with the person that you're dating. And, you know, sometimes you got a best friend before you start dating someone. And it becomes hard when you guys start becoming best friends to share your bestie because you're like, wait, no, they're all mine. Like, I don't want anyone else to see the goodness in them. But this was a post I saw on Instagram, and it was like, if you see a beautiful flower, like, don't pluck it. Just let enjoy the beauty and like let it blossom. And I thought that was such a great like analogy to romantic partners, because you see the so much like overflowing beauty in them. You can't want to take that all for yourself. Well, at the end of the day, it's simply selfish, but it's also depriving them of future connections and like good relationships with other people. If you want to pluck their beautiful little flowerness all for yourself, put them in a little vase, all of a sudden they start dying. And you're like, why are you dead? But actually, back to the point, you can't pluck someone when they're blossoming and try to steal them away from everybody, because you have to let everyone see their beauty and you have to let them grow. Yes, okay. This has gotten really deep and rambly, I guess. But I'm just like, no teacher, except I guess some of my like humanities teachers in junior year of high school. Shout out humanities program at my high school. It was great. Shout out Joler. You were there. I've never had a teacher ask me what I believe in, especially in college. And it was just, we're already in a class of like 15 people in like a very high school like classroom. And I just felt like transported back to like, oh my gosh, someone actually cares about like me, because my high school was very involved and small and personal. And so having that question asked, you know, I think I have all these beliefs that I like deeply morally align with. And then once I got asked, I was like, well, what do I do every day? Like, where's my structure? Like, what do I believe in? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of lost it all. But in a way, like, I'm vegan. So that's a belief that I should be vegan. But it also, like, really structures my life, because there is a method to the way I eat. And eating is a sort of structure. Like, you have to have 3 meals a day to be in a healthy diet and eating healthily. So I'm like, do I even really want to do this? Or am I just like conditioned to the structure that I'm so used to? But then I like backtrack and I'm like, no, like it's all for the animals. It's all love. It's all peace and love. So yeah, I guess I wonder like what you guys believe in. If you guys could let me know what you believe in the comments, that would be great. But no, seriously, it was such like a jarring question. And I do have so many beliefs, but to be asked them flat, like at face value, I was like, like I couldn't think of anything. And I think my answer was good. Not that he was judging on like goodness or not, but, yeah, just let me know what you believe in. And if you think beliefs are set in stone in your life for like moral reasons or for structural reasons, because I was talking to my partner and they were all like, oh, easy, like morals. Like beliefs are morals because they're what you're taught when you're a kid. And I was like, that's very interesting. And I definitely don't disagree with it. But a lot of what I was taught when I was a kid, like I don't align with at all anymore, morally or structurally. So that's different too. And that's different for everyone. Like, maybe you have parents that you do align with, like morally and structurally and everything. Their beliefs are yours too, and you take them on very heavily, but like that's not my experience. So it's just very interesting. But I also wanted to touch, I guess, more back to Billies really sad, sad, sad little lyric that I love to listen to so much. But it's just like, if you find yourself in a relationship where you're losing friends left and right, your partner's pissed that you got friends in the first place that you love and you want to hang out with, like they're not rocking with it, people tell you who they are with their actions. Let me repeat that for the Gentlewoman listeners. People tell you who they are with their actions. They don't even have to talk. They do not have to say one word. If your partner is jealous in any form, way, shape, whatever, that you have friends going, and maybe they don't, maybe they do, but maybe they're not as close, whatever, like, you need to listen to them and you need to get the heck out of that relationship, because if they want to spend like all their time with you and they have no priorities of making better friends or hanging out with other people, whatever it is, like, it is time to go. And again, this is if the people in your life are good, because I have the best people in my life that I can count on for whatever, and they do not make my partners mad. But past partners, they have made upset because it's not their cup of tea that I got my besties running around me. But, you know, to each their own. I just think everyone should be happy when somebody has a new friend in their life and you're in a relationship. Like, it's all love. You want to show that person off. You want to show yourself off still. Like, you are too that flower that someone should not pick and keep to themselves. Like, I don't know. Let me know if you agree with that too. I'm asking you guys. I'm asking so much of you guys today. Like, I really am. But, I missed this. I meant to talk about this earlier. So, again, back to the fact that the question made me anxious of what do I believe in. Well, the first thing that came to my mind, and I guess why I've been talking about relationships as well, was love. And I found myself in a couple situations where I was like, F love, love isn't real, I'll never find real love. I'm in my demon time era, like Playboy Cardi era, future era. And, it gets you nowhere. It really gets you nowhere when you have these sort of ideas about love. And that it's not possible to bounce back and come back from like a very dark time, because it is. And you may have lost those parts of yourself that were balanced and independent and, just you. But you can find them again. Like, you can totally find them again. And I think when he asked me that, I got a little nervous to say love, because I'm not trying to go into my whole history with my 15 friendos in my Com 107 class. But, it's hard. Like, it is hard to love again when you have been stomped on like a literal bug and like stomped, like squished into the pavement. Like, that is how I would describe one of my past relationships. And you're like, no thank you, never again. I will never, ever, ever give someone all of me again. And I really think that if you were giving someone all of you in the first place, that was your first problem. And I can admit that now. Like, I can admit that I gave so much of myself to someone, and I was so codependent, and I needed someone to tell me they loved me because I didn't love myself enough. I lost all creativity. I was not a creative person when I was in a toxic relationship. I couldn't eat. I was so sad. I couldn't sleep. Like, my best friend, Jules, told me the other month when we were together, like every day when we could be this summer, she was just like, I remember you telling me you weren't eating. And that it had become like so normal that you just didn't have an appetite. You didn't have anything to give. And I wasn't on any weird medicines. Like, I know sometimes that's a side effect. I was totally capable of eating fine and everything, and I had the means to be eating 3 meals a day and whatever. But I literally couldn't. I couldn't even love myself enough to get food in my body. Like, girls and boys, you ever find yourself in this spot, you need to reevaluate and leave. It is time to go. No one is worth not eating food. And it never felt that deep, I guess. It just became so normal in my head that I was like, oh, I can only drink coffee before 11, and then after that, I'm going to stop eating at 5, and it's going to be totally fine. And I went to Whole Foods, like, it's healthy. Whatever. So, yeah. If you find yourself anywhere like that, reach out to someone. Definitely try to get someone to bring you back to reality if you cannot bring yourself there, because that is always beneficial. But yeah. I guess I've had a long day. I was planning to record the podcast in the morning, but life got in the way. Me and Bae went to brunch, and what else did we do? We went to Union Market in DC, which was so fun. Brunch was really good. It was a vegan place called Sticky Fingers in DC. Had so much fun. So yummy. Bae got a s'mores waffle and french fries, and I got mac and cheese with like broccoli and pretzels with cheese dip. Oh my god, I have the worst pins and needles in my life right now. Okay, we have to bring it back because no one else can feel it. Oh my god. Just think about the worst time. Yeah, that's happening right now. But yeah, life got in the way and I'm a little bit tired, but I am like playing like a raven today. If you can't tell from my shirt, oh my god, the pins and needles. I can't wait till you all watch this. If you get to this point in the episode, text me, I hope your pins and needles get worse. And then I'll know you're a real friend. But I guess I've forgotten to look at the camera a lot of this episode. Sorry camera people. Sorry YouTube watchers. But yeah. Oh, Bae and I decided our Halloween costumes. And we definitely want to do a group costume because I'm going to see my besties at the place I used to attend. Because Philadelphia is just so much more fun for like Halloween stuff and in general to me than DC is. I just like can't have fun here. And yeah, the city's just not for me. I'll probably never live here, but that's neither here nor there. We got to find a group costume because we definitely want to do something as a group. But then Bae and I were thinking of, do I tell it? Oh my god, I don't want to tell it because what if, okay, if you're my friend and you steal this idea, you're going down because, first of all, why would you do that to me? Second, you guys are the only people listening to this, so if you do steal my ideas, you're going down. But we are thinking about doing Pamela Anderson, that's me, and her boyfriend Tommy, don't know his last name. I haven't watched their new show or anything, or whatever that was, like mockumentary, I don't know. But she is so hot and beautiful. And, he looks like Bae and is like grunge and bad boy. And all he has to do really is wear like a wife beater and black pants. And we'll do some like fake tats. And I just have to look slay as ever. And it's going to be perfect because it's my 21st birthday. Halloween weekend is my 21st birthday. So I cannot let Halloween outshine me. That will never be the case. So I'll just need to make sure I wear a crown too. Wherever we go. But yes, everyone, I guess today was really just about toxic relationships and what you believe in, because so much of me, and oh my god, I want to slap past me so bad. Like, I used to be like, there's no way someone can get themselves in a toxic relationship. Like, how can they even do that? How can they not, like, see through somebody's, like, BS? Like, no way. Never, not me. Like, oh, I could girl. Like, it is so simple. It is probably easier to get yourself into a toxic relationship than it is to get yourself into a healthy one. Because everyone is like, the normalization of the gaslightification of the, I don't even know, like, whatever-ification. Like, no one was saying that. No one was saying the word gaslight when my gas was getting lit every day. Like, y'all were late and I needed help and no one was there. No, I'm kidding. So many people were there. I so appreciate you. If you were there during that time in my life and you've stuck by me, it was a dark time. It was a dark place. We're past it. We're happy. We're with Bay. We are making moves on my college campus. We are keeping the people in our lives that make us happy. And yeah, we're being ourselves and we're owning it. And you all should too. So I hope you had a wonderful time listening today. I am so excited. So many of my friends, even my sister, have signed up to be on the Gentlewoman podcast, and I'm literally like so hype. You guys don't understand. I've always wanted to like talk it out with somebody else, like flesh it out, because these people that I'm going to have on here, I have great conversations with. They are so close to me. They are great friends. I'm so excited to share their knowledge and collab, and it's going to be great. And I love you all, and thank you for listening. Well, I appreciate you all. What do you believe in? Let me know. Okay, bye-bye.